Alright, welcome to the third episode of my playthrough of Sokoban the RPG. It's still dark and we will continue into the woods, the second half of the woods. Damn it, I really hate that guy. Despite being more than just glad to have escaped from that room with the psycho, I'm actually rather reluctant to venture out again in this bad weather. Though I guess, like he said, I will do so purely for lack of better option. This whole journey, this puzzle solving, it all seems so pointless. Where will these roads take me? And more importantly, what will happen when I finally reach my destination? Assuming there exists such a place, that is. Well, I reckon there's only one way only one way to find out. These woods seemingly spread out forever. That's quite a large forest indeed. Right, so how do we start? This is the only way to start. That might be a good idea to focus on this side, because this is a little blocked in. So maybe we can make a little bit of room. And we can just make a little bit of room. Get this here. And then put these nicely in that side. And that actually gives us more than enough room to maneuver these where this should be. It's a nice puzzle. Very small puzzle. Can actually be deceptively tricky. So basically we need to move this one down. But first we need to make sure we can actually walk around. So now it's down, but now we need to put these back. And this is the way to do it. If you had pushed the block through here, you actually wouldn't have been able to solve it. So another symmetric puzzle. Let's first do this. Always free kills. And we can basically just work this out symmetrically. As long as we're a little bit careful, we shouldn't run into any big problems. This is very tricky. You need to pay close attention to what gets in view at this point. If you push this boulder through, you can't solve it anymore. Because you have to walk around and push this one through. It's a little sneaky, but that's how it is. Now you can basically fill everything up. Noticing that this one has to go down, because nothing else can reach this place. And this last one is just for funsies. Alright. And we get a nice little save spot. So the track that plays here is probably the creepiest track in the game. But I really like the atmosphere it gives. Very nicely detuned bells. Very somber atmosphere. So this one is basically observing that you want to put this one down, but then this one has to go. So you kind of need to shuffle everything through. Create all the space, so you can put this one here. So then you can occupy the lowest spot. So that means that at the top we have a new space. So then this one can shift through. This one can go out. So we have a second space we can fill up. And then you can basically finish the job. Yeah, that's it. So this one also looks very complicated, like you need to move this one all the way over here, keeping everything in place. So of course the easiest way to do it is just to move as little as possible. So that one moves down, and this one can come all the way down. So now we do a little bit of a rotation here to actually get everything in the right place. And this is one of my favorite puzzles. It's very elegant. Like, you just need to move this one from the wall, but in order to move that one, you need to have some sort of space here. Like this boulder has to move. This boulder can only move one spot, but this is just enough to be able to push this one behind it and not be stuck. And of course, this boulder has to move a long distance before we have enough space to move this one. So this one can actually join the other bottom one. So we just have enough space to get this one all the way over here. So now we have the space we need to move this one. And now we just basically push them back the way we push it. Yeah. Just doing backwards of what we just did, and it all works out. It just works out. I just love how this one. I just love this one. Alright, so this one, it looks like you have more space than you actually do. So these two stuck to this wall is quite annoying. In order to get this off the wall, you need to do pushing all the way over there, so you can do this. And now, of course, he's still on the wall, but now he can go up. Yeah, now you're basically done. Small shovel, and you're done. And we get another save. Alright. So this one, we get another music track. Very dramatic piano track. So yeah, this one basically means that you need to do this bottom stuff here. Okay, I remember. So yeah, these two goals, they kind of interfere, right? If you have this one in place, then you can't put this one in place. If you have this one in place, then you can't put this one in place. So the order has to be this one, and then this one. But also a problem is that once you fill up this space, you actually will experience trouble getting blocks down. Because in order to push the block down, you will need to come from here. So let's see. I've been talking, but I haven't done a lot of solving. Yeah, so the idea is that you keep one up there. Well, you push this one here. And I think this one goes here. No, this is actually wrong. This is wrong. Hold on. I should have played all the puzzles again before recording this. Ah, yes. Of course. You need to save this one up there. And this one goes down. So now you have enough potential of pushing boulders down. And it's easy. Yeah. But the puzzles, they get a little tricky. Like, you need to start thinking. Really need to start thinking things through there. Okay, so this one involves pushing a lot of boulders down. And this corner is something we can fill up quite easily. We need to be careful that we need to fill up this line from the top. Maybe this little area is going to help us. Actually, I don't quite remember where to put the boulders. I think here, actually. Because we need to put the boulders in such a way, like we need to move this one off the wall, so we still need a path around. But now that it's here, you can basically fill up these two spots, which you can do like this, and then he comes. But it's a little bit tricky to find the right positions for the boulders there at the bottom. This one is also a little deceptive, because the trick is that these being vertical is just very annoying, but you can get them horizontal, giving you a lot more space, and that's actually all the space you will need, because the goals are actually in a very friendly set of positions. So yeah, the trick was really seeing that you need to move these in a horizontal line. Of course, shouldn't put one here. You need that spot to put the boulders to the left. Fortunately, we can just do that one last. Well, sort of last. This one. Yeah, this one is quite tricky, I have to admit. This space here is actually very important. Why? Because you can see that we sort of only have access to this goal area from this line. These two spots, this and this, they don't like each other. Like if you have a block here, you can't get a block here, at least not from the bottom. And if you have a block here, you have the same problem. So you actually need this precise location here to store a boulder. To put here, you first put one there. So, in case it didn't make sense, so this is all still not fine. if I block this off, excuse me. Of course, I wouldn't be able to push it to this side. But we also don't really want to shut this off yet, because this, yeah, I guess we could have. So we do it like this. Move that one, put that one there. Now, of course, in order to get him here, you need to walk around, so that one you do first. So then this one is easier, and this one is easier. And there we go. It's tricky. It's quite deceptive, this little area here. It looks like it's just part of the path, but very crucial to the puzzle. And there we go. Another save. Almost out of the woods, I think. Ooh, this puzzle. So, yeah. Here, of course, the main trick is to get the one of the boulders down here, because then you will have more space. Now there's 4 boulders in a small space. It would be better if we just 3. We can't push it down yet, because this boulder is still here. And we can just move it out of the way, and then we can push this one down. Now, this boulder has to go down, because you need boulders here. Yeah, so like, you need a second boulder down. So you put these in. So you need to be careful. This one also needs to go in, but of course you need to escape this area again. So you need to hold off on pushing this one in just for a little bit. And then you're done. So yeah. May seem easy when I do it, but figuring out the order for the first time, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So this is one of this is a very basic example of storing a boulder in a certain location, but it's not quite obvious from the start where to do it. So you can see that there's two lines from which we can attack this vertical line. We have this horizontal strip from where he can come in, and you have this horizontal strip, and the others will come in from there. So you can see that these two places are hard. Now if you fill up the bottom one, then it's impossible to get anything here. Right, you can't push anything up anymore. But if you fill up this, then it's impossible to get the bottom one. So how would you do it? Well, there's actually another place to reach this one from, and that's from this place right in the middle. And if you do it like that, you will be able to work around this boulder being there in the middle, filling up everything, and solving a puzzle. Very neat example of storing a boulder, a single boulder. And this puzzle is also a bit more deceptive than you may think, because it will seem that at this point, no matter what you move, if you move this one up, you'll be stuck. This one down, it'll run into this one. But if you put it precisely in between the gates, you can store this one down here, allowing this one to move out. This will now not block everything off, because we can push it in here, out of the way. Now we are done. Very elegant little puzzle. Little bit sneaky, I would say. Alright, so I think this is the last tent. Still dark. So this one looks like a puzzle we saw just a few minutes back. Having to push all the boulders down. But this time, filling up this space is a pretty bad idea, because it's our only way to get boulders up. So we probably shouldn't do that right away. So since this area exists, maybe just put a boulder there and see if it works out. Also observe this time we need to exit from the bottom. So yeah, 2 boulders up should be enough, because the last one will come from the top anyway. So now that we have all the boulders up, we can basically fill up this space. And then this one will come, and we can still walk around, fill up the line, and then close it up. What do we have here? It's an old looking well. Its walls are I still don't know how to pronounce that word. In a cloth of darkness. But if you stretch your body, you might be able to peek inside. Take a look. Yes. Ooh, motorcycle in the street. It's a reflection of the starry sky above you. In particular, look at the moon. The sky is especially pretty tonight. Lewis is unsuspecting. We continue. This puzzle looks very busy. There's only 5 boulders in a very large area, but there isn't really a lot of space to walk around. Yeah, the idea is that this top area is crucial, and this is a place where you want to have a boulder, because it's sort of out of the way of everything. But in order to get it there, you will have to push it in like this. So you need to have a way around at least this path. And the idea is that you can do it with a little bit of a tricky move, putting him precisely there, him down, him here, and only because you're going to push it out of the way, you actually don't block anything in. So now it might be tempting to just fill up this top line, but actually this one all the way over here still needs to go down. And now that this is filled up, we still need to be careful with how we do this. This, and now it's down. And at this point we are indeed free to just fill up the line. Yeah. All right. And then there is the last puzzle of the woods. This one is tricky. How are you going to get something in here without messing everything up? That's basically the puzzle. And how you do this is something I need to think about for a short second. Ah yeah. So this is all possible. Getting something in this corner without messing anything up. But the trick, so the thing that makes this puzzle a little tricky is that you're not quite done yet. Because there's a couple of spaces, this one and this one, to be precise, that don't like each other. This one needs to be put in after, or before this one. Because if this is occupied, it's impossible to get one here. But this one can still be reached from the top. So I would want to do this. And then this. So I think we are going to run into trouble. Yeah. We're definitely going to run into trouble. This is a way to mess the puzzle up. And it wasn't quite clear, but it does mean that this boulder and this boulder, they don't like each other at all. So let's try to reset. What went wrong? So we started off pretty solid, I would say. I don't think there was really anything wrong with how we started off. We did this. We did this. Now, what happened? This one was in a nasty spot. Maybe just put it here. Thinking, what was the trick? I don't remember. I feel like we're going to run into the same troubles last time. Oh no, we're not. Look. Now we have two here. So this one could go all the way to the top. So now there's no problem. This one can go down and we can fill this up. It's very tricky. It's tricky to see and easy to mess up. Tricky puzzle, indeed, no doubt. Outside. Hey Lewis. Don't mind me, I'm just looking for weeds in the grass. You know how high class men are, wouldn't you agree? I know it all too well, Mum. I'd rather not wander off too far. Yeah, we're here in the front yard. Lewis, good to see you. How was school today? I guess it was fine. Some kids picked... Splendid. I hope you really learned a lot. Now listen, I would like you to help me with something. Would you please go to the basement and fetch us a bottle of our most expensive white wine? The most expensive one? Yes, we're really going to give a fantastic party tonight. We will spare no expense. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Thank you, Lewis. We get into this dark house. My parents' room. They always keep it locked during the day. This is the bathroom. In his spare time, father enjoys digging here. To what end? I do not know. So it's a very dark basement. And actually there's a hidden room here. This room might look familiar. Does it look familiar? It should. This clock looks like an exact copy of the one in the living room. Only somehow it seems to have aged rapidly. Do you now very faintly hear a ticking noise? I don't hear it anymore. Odd. Such a beautiful mirror. It's better I broke it once when I was just a little girl. What was that sound? Is anyone there? I have no business in the backyard at the moment. So where might the wine be? It has to be here. I have no idea what the space behind these impenetrable bars is used for, but my father's never once let me enter. It's a space that could be familiar to the player at this point. It's a barrel stuffed with all various kinds of alcoholic beverages. Upon closer inspection, it appears to be mostly red wine. No. Is this white wine? Yeah. What's this? Ale. No, we don't need ale. Alright, so now we can go back while enjoying this live performance on the piano, actually, of me. I see you've brought some wine. Allow me to inspect it for a moment. Ah, excellent. This was the wine I was hoping for. I shall take it to the kitchen momentarily. No problem, Dad. Your help is appreciated, as always. What's this? A children's room? Oh, and there's that creepy guy again. What do we have here? It's a letter addressed to Colin Garner. Read it? Dad. It's very difficult for me to write this letter. Also, I'm not really sure where to start. Let me begin by stating that I'm a complete and utter coward. You're holding the proof in your hands right now. I've been wanting to talk to you about this for a while now, and I simply lack the courage to say it in your face. Hence I decided to put forward my feelings in this non-verbal way. I hope you forgive me for doing so. And the issue I've been wanting to talk about is that I don't think that what you're forcing Lewis to do is right. I dare even call it wrong, despicable, and evil. You may not have noticed, but for as long as I can remember, I've been around Lewis many hours a day. I know her better than any of you. You only have to come to know her as a parent, and you only saw and heard the things she wanted you, her father, to see or hear. I've seen and heard much more than that. I know Lewis like she doesn't even know herself, and I can tell when something is up. Please allow me to blow the horn. Something is most definitely up. It has come to my attention that Lewis's behavior lately has been somewhat off. I find it particularly difficult to pinpoint the exact change, but I sense that she's not herself. I've always admired Lewis's tenacity and her immutable character. The sudden, subtle change in her demeanor therefore strikes me as particularly peculiar. Allow me to get to the point. Yes, of course, I've overheard the incredible agony Lewis has to go through every party. For crying out loud, it's all happening in the room next to mine. I might not be the first to say it, but it will make my voice be heard. Please, these practices ought to stop immediately. I will no longer idly stand by and watch my little sister mentally deteriorate any further. I simply cannot stand for such gruesome things. In case I had not made myself clear, her deviant behavior indicates that a tremendous amount of damage has already been done. Please stop it before it's too late. I ask you kindly this time, but should I notice no measures are being taken to counteract its bestiality, I shall not for a second hesitate to take matters into my own hands. You may be my father, and I respect you, but I own the right as a brother. It's in my prerogative to protect my sister from further harm, and there is no one who can stand in my way. Let this be a warning. I'm dead serious. Love, Tom. We meet once again, so it seems. Honestly, I'm done with wondering how this guy keeps getting ahead of me. Accepting that as reality, there are more important questions to be answered. Me first. Who in the world are you? Who I am? So you really don't remember me? Your silence speaks louder than words. So you imply I should recognize you? But I have forgotten? Moving on? No, you won't be moving on until I say so. Why do you keep dodging my questions? Just answer me for once. I'm sick and tired of your bullshit. You probably... Ooh, that's a little bit of a typo. Probably think you are really tough behind your desk and all. Don't talk to me like that. Interesting to catch a glimpse of your true identity all of a sudden. Like I said, moving on to my riddle. Solving it would as usual provide you with the key required to exit this room. Do you see those odd patterns on the floor next to me? I would like you to view them as a stack of 2 dice. You can see the 3 eyes on the face of the bottom die, but I will withhold any information regarding the top die. I will give you 3 clues to help you figure out the configuration of the dice. The first clue is that the dice are in all respects identical, even spatially, and there are no mirror images of each other. The second clue is that the combined number of eyes on the 2 faces on the back side of the stack is 3 times that on the face on the right side. The third clue is that the 2 touching faces of the 2 dice have a total of 9 eyes. Of course, you're aware of the fact that for any die in the world, the eyes of 2 opposing faces always add up to 7. And now the question is, what number of eyes does the face touching the floor of the bottom die of the stack have? Oh man, this will be a tough one. As it is quite an interesting puzzle. Like there is 2 possible configurations of 2 dice that will satisfy the requirements, 2 of the requirements, but only one of them is realizable with 2 identical dice. So the easiest way actually to solve this puzzle is just grab 2 dice and try to satisfy all the requirements. And be careful that they are actually identical. So yeah, we do think we have the right answer. And I think 1 is correct. I wouldn't have expected anything less from you. You've always been a bright one. What, for exactly how long have you known me? Here's your prize, the key. The man hands you the key. We're on your way now. You still have a long journey ahead of you. Thanks. It's a crate full of apples. They look deliciously fresh. Take one? Well, yes, why not? Help is not something you receive. Help is something you must earn. It's a game of give and take. A parent of 3 kids will be assisted when they ask. A homeless man staring into nothingness, absently waving around a tin mug containing a few coins, receives nearly nothing. On their way back from school, from the bushes appeared a foul-smelling man, wearing some dirty, inappropriately thick coat. He grinned at me in a friendly manner. He said nothing, but he shook his little cup under my nose, and with his gaze directed my eyes to the mug. A primitive yet touching groan escaped his lungs as he continued to shake the cup. His intent was not to beg for money. Instead, he wanted to share with me a bit of his happiness. In the cup rested a $50 bill. Unable to restrain himself, he jumped up and down and he pointed along the winding road in the direction of my house. He looked into my eyes very intensely and he exposed my soul, my shortcomings, my hatred. You look like that man, said he, though his blabbered words were nearly unintelligible. Yet you... He paused for a second and calmed himself. You seem scarred, he said in an almost whispering voice. I took out a coin from the small wallet I kept in my bag and I gently placed it inside his mug, making no more sound than a paper bill would have produced. I then walked away, and just before the next turn in the unpaved road, I gazed over my shoulder and I saw the man slowly retreating back into the bushes. As he disappeared, I could clearly discern a look of genuine distress on his face, as if the man had already long forgotten the bill he had received shortly before. Help is not something you receive, it's something you must earn. It's still a game of give and take. There are always a few deviants, those who will not sheepishly abide by common standards, those who give everything, but take rarely. There's always us. Is it you, Lewis? Yes, I'm here. Come here, please. What's wrong, Dad? I'm ruined. Ruined? You? How? And why? The new CEO, he's not too fond of me. I have nothing to offer him. Sure you do, Dad. You know so much. No, I do not know enough. I've heard him talking in the hallways. I will be fired very soon. There's no room for such a failure like me. Don't give up, Dad. There must be something you can do. I'm powerless. So close I was to fully climbing the ladder. And now, just don't tell your mother, okay? Not yet. Come on, Dad. Is there anything I can do to help you? I promise I will do anything. No, I'm afraid not. It's just... Maybe there is one thing. You would do anything, you say? My God, it's absolutely freezing out here. This can't be healthy. I need to find a place with some warmth as quickly as possible. I don't even have time to ponder on the question how not the weather changed in such a short amount of time. Ooh, let's get inside. still not up yet. Alright, so I think this is again a pretty good time to end this episode. So yeah, if you have been, thanks for watching. I hope I hope the solutions helped you out in case you were stuck. And yeah, hope to see you in the next episode. Good luck and bye.